Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Saturday, the 10th of April. Hi, I'm Paul, and I'll be your host this morning here on New Zealand Sports Radio. And in the news today, we'll catch up on the cricket as the IPL kicks off for NRL action with a report from Brad on the Warriors game yesterday. In rugby news, we've got some re-signings and also Super Rugby AU kicks off last night. They've got A-League action yesterday as well as basketball action in both the NBA and the NBL as well. And also, it is the Masters currently, so I'll bring up to speed how that one is going. Unfortunately, no Kiwi representatives in that one. This is your best way to start the day up to speed with all of the important sports news. And let's kick off with the Masters. It is currently the second round is live if you want to watch it after the show. And Justin Rose of England is leading the way at 7 under par, 2 shots clear of the Australian Leishman before a big chasing pack at 3 shots back in that one. Moving on then to the staying over in the States, moving on to the basketball. And in the NBA, we had 7 games yesterday. Some of the key results include the Clippers seeing off the Suns 113-103, and the Jazz beating the Trailblazers comfortably 122-103. The Bucks, though, were downed by the Mavericks 116-101, and also the Lakers went down to the Heat 110-104. That means now in the table, the Nets lead the 76ers ahead of the Bucks in the Eastern Conference. The Bucks losing big ground there with that loss. Over on the Western side, with the Lakers slipping to 5th with that loss, the Jazz lead the Suns and the Clippers in that one. Sticking with basketball and heading over to the NBL, and just one game yesterday as the Hawks saw off the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix in a close one, 82-81. Starring for the Hawks, there was Jessup with 26 points and Harvey with 22, leading the way for their team. On the Phoenix side, Adnam got 22, which did not get support from the rest of his team really in that one, or get enough support from the rest of his team in that one. Looking at the table then, the Hawks closed the gap on the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. There, for the Phoenix still in 3rd and Hawks in 4th there. The Breakers will be back in action today as they take on Melbourne United in one of 2 games, with also the 36ers taking on the Wildcats. That Breakers game starts at tip-off at 10 p.m. Staying over in Australia for the with the football, and just one game yesterday as New Boys Macarthur FC took on Brisbane Roar. Macarthur FC missed out on the opportunity of going second in the table, losing 2-1 to Brisbane Roar. So Brisbane Roar up into 7th, just outside those playoff places. The Phoenix will be in action tomorrow up against Western United in a must-win game for them if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. That kickoff is at 9 p.m. on Saturday. Moving on then to the rugby and some signing news as Shannon Frizzell has re-signed for the Highlanders through to the end of the 2023 season. So another good re-signing there for the Highlanders ahead of their clash against the Chiefs this evening. Don't forget, we will be live straight after the final whistle between the Highlanders and the Chiefs, bringing you post-match reaction here on New Zealand Sports Radio. You can catch that on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Also, yesterday we had the opening game of the round for Super Rugby AU with the Rebels up against the Reds in what was not a great game, to be honest. The Rebels really dominated. Oh, the Rebels against Reds, sorry. The Rebels against the Force. The Rebels really dominated this game, but just could not get over the try line landing up with 15 points, all from kicks. A late try by the Force meant that actually they won this one 15-16, keeping their playoff hopes or their finals hopes alive in this one. But some glaring errors in this one. The Force had the opportunity to kick the ball out and win it, but managed to get charged down in that one. And also, Hodge had a couple of was in position ready for a couple of drop goal attempts, but the passes to him really were wayward, and in the end, his drop goal got nowhere near. And unfortunately, one of the guys trying to charge down the drop goal landed on his standing leg. So let's hope that he has no long-term injuries from that one. Also in Super Rugby Aotearoa, we'll be having the Crusaders versus the Hurricanes on Sunday. This will be Joe Moody's 100th game for the Crusaders, so a hat tip to him. Also, the Hurricanes have named teenager Ruben Lowe at 10 for his to debut there. So good luck to him in what is going to be a real tough outing at 10 on Sunday. Moving on to the NRL, and we had 2 games yesterday. There was the Warriors versus the Seagulls, and we'll hear from Brad in a second about that one. But the Panthers beat the Raiders comfortably 30-10 in that game. But let's hear from Brad, our host of the Standoff Show that comes to you on Wednesday at 8 p.m. every single week during the season to keep up with all the NRL and his post-match report of the Warriors versus the Sea Eagles.
It's Brad from the Standoff here to give you a quick review of the Warriors' 13-12 defeat to the Manly Sea Eagles. In all honesty, it was a horrible game to watch, with both sides playing terribly. The game was full of errors, with the Warriors making 13 in total and the Sea Eagles making 16. The Warriors were missing plenty of firepower in their forward pack, and it showed with them struggling up the middle. The Warriors' halves also didn't help, looking lost on multiple occasions, making poor final tackle options and some poor defensive reads allowed the Sea Eagles to stay in the contest. In a Warriors error in the final minutes, handed Manly the field position they needed. The Warriors got up early and attempted to charge down Dale Cherry Evans' field goal to keep them out, keep themselves in the game, but Manly regathered the ball quickly after that, and after a few hit-ups, Cherry Evans was back at it again and would not be denied the second time round, sliding the match-winning field goal in the dying seconds, handing Manly their first win of the year. Real brutal, tough game to watch. Going to have a lot of questions, and tune in on Wednesday at 8 p.m. when we review this match and the rest of the round in more detail. Thank you.
So I thank Brad for that report. That one clearly upset with or disappointed with that result for the Warriors. Really should have been a win for them as Seagulls picks up their first victory of the season. Moving on to the crickets and the assuming that rain doesn't get in the way, because the forecast is really poor for Mount Maunganui today. Looks like lots of rain on its way. But the third one-day international between the New Zealand women and Australian women should be is scheduled to take place today. That's the final match of their series. But I say rain looking like the winner in that one. The IPL kicked off with Mumbai Indians taking on Royal Challengers Bangalore, with Carl Jamieson involved in this one, playing for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Mumbai Indians went into bat first. Top scoring was Chris Lynn for them with 49, as they posted a total of 159. Carl Jamieson, 4 overs, went for 27 runs and got 1 wicket. The leading bowler for Bangalore was Harshal Patel, who took 5 wickets with his 4 overs. In response, it really was a partnership between Glenn Maxwell and AB de Villiers that gave the impetus. That's after Virat Kohli put on 33, Glenn Maxwell 39, AB de Villiers 48. Carl Jemison chipped in with four balls as Royal Challengers Bangalore reached 160 off the final ball to win the game by just a solitary run with no balls remaining there. So a good start for the Carl Jemison's team there with that win. The IPL continues today with it says tomorrow. I think it's today with CSK versus DC. So stick here at the morning sports briefing at 7 a.m. every single morning, and I'll be keep you up to speed with how the IPL is progressing now that it has started. You have now started the day the best way to speed with all of the important sports news. Hope you have a fantastic start to your weekend, everybody. Don't forget to join us straight after the Highlanders versus the Chiefs this evening for post-match reaction. And also, we'll be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning with the morning sports briefing.